Thank you. Well, I'm really excited to see a great turnout tonight here in San Francisco. My name is Marc Imhoff. I'm the Terra Project Scientist at Goddard Space Flight Center, and it's my great privilege and honor to be Project Scientist of Terra, which is one of the most amazing missions, in my opinion, that has ever been created. And tonight we're going to celebrate that mission, and we're going to hear from Piers Sellers, who was the first Terra project scientist and also our human satellite. Michael King, who many of you know was the EOS project scientist for a long time. And Ghassem Asrar, the former associate administrator during the Terra mission formulation and launch. And then Angelita Kelly, who is sort of representing the mission operations side, is going to talk a little bit about the state of Terra. And then finally, Anoop Mehta from SSAI and the Maryland Space Business Roundtable will come up and tell us about the wonderful reception that they've got together for us upstairs. When Terra was launched almost 10 years ago, in 4 days it will be exactly 10 years since Terra was launched, it was designed to look at something, to look at the Earth in a very different way. It was to look at a systems approach and to be able to collect data that would actually link systems and use a suite of instruments that could be used to connect various processes in the land, oceans, and atmospheres. And it's been incredibly successful. One of the things that, one of the ways we measure success is how it's used by the scientific community. And as of 2009, a year ago, there were over 800 refereed publications, 12,000 citations using Terra data, and we were downloading in 2008, we were downloading 40 million files a year of Terra data. So it's been quite a success. But I also think it represents something more. I think it represents a remarkable human achievement, and that it's not just a scientific achievement, but it's an engineering achievement, being able to put 8 instruments, actually 5, like I said, but there's multiple instruments comprising different instruments on one platform. It's a managerial accomplishment in that we were working with several different NASA centers, 3 different countries, governmental organizations, universities, university labs, federal labs, and of course private industry. And so there were dozens of contractors on board. So it's quite an accomplishment. So before we get started, let's talk a little bit about the history, just a little bit abridged. In 300 BC, they put me down for 5 minutes. I think that was optimistic. We're still in ancient Greece. Okay. Aristarchus of Samos actually figured out that the planets revolved around the sun, and he even calculated a distance for the moon. Well, this didn't go over well with the Apollo cult. So for about 2,000 years, then we had remote sensing with hot air balloons. Then in the 1960s, we got our first satellite images of the Earth. And as sort of unacceptable as these images are now by our standards, these were very important data sets because they actually showed us how cloud formations moved and progressed across the Earth, and it really opened up a whole new era of climatology and weather forecasting. Then this famous picture in the 1970s, which was from the Apollo, which really impressed people. I do remember that it was Spaceship Earth. People thought, wow, we're really on this one planet, we're in it together, and we really need to pull together as a species and look at our environment. Then there was the early days of the EOS, and a lot of you don't know, but the first EOS platform, and some of the speakers probably talk about this, had every single instrument that's on Terra, Aura, and Aqua all on one platform, and then some. There's a few others. And so that's kind of an interesting little bit of history. You know, now we take this for granted, but we're in an era now where not just Terra, but Aqua, Aura, and the other instruments in the Earth science fleet that NASA has really built a tremendous library of data looking at the Earth's surface on a daily basis in many cases. And you know, this is for the first time we're able to actually link some of these processes together. And after 10 years, it's really a tremendous accomplishment. And I love this quote by Bruce Wilecki, who I think is here. But we need to remember that climate data records only start reaching the noise level of natural variability in about 10 to 15 years. And so we've just approached that with Terra, and so we really need to keep going.